Hello, friends! In today's gripping episode of Mystery Chronicles, we're diving deep into a story that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Twists, turns, and hidden truths lie ahead as we unravel another dark mystery. If you enjoy unraveling these thrilling tales with us, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're new here or haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our channel and join us as we uncover more chilling and captivating stories. Let's get into it. Imagine this: a small, sleepy town where nothing much happens, until one fateful night when a widow's secret begins to unravel in the most unexpected way. It all began with the sudden and tragic death of Thomas Ward. A loving husband, father, and respected member of the community, he met his untimely end in a freak accident, leaving behind his grieving widow Sarah and their 2 young children. Everyone pitied her, the woman who had lost her soulmate so young. But behind the teary-eyed facade she showed the town there was a secret buried so deep no one would ever suspect it. Or so she thought. Thomas Ward's father, Richard, was a strong, silent man, a fixture in the town for years. After Thomas's death, Richard often visited Sarah's home, helping with the kids, fixing things around the house. Some thought it was touching how he stepped in as a support system for his son's family. But what no one knew was that long before Thomas's accident, Sarah and Richard had become more than just in-laws. Their illicit affair had begun in the shadows, a twisted dance of guilt and desire. It had been Richard who comforted her when Thomas was working late, who listened when she felt neglected, who made her feel alive again. It started innocently enough, just a shoulder to cry on, but quickly spiraled into something darker. They both knew it was wrong, that if Thomas ever found out, it would destroy not only their family but their entire lives. And then Thomas died. In the wake of the accident, guilt gnawed at Sarah's soul. Did she wish for this? Had her feelings for Richard somehow willed this tragedy into existence? It wasn't long after the funeral that whispers began circulating the town. Nothing concrete, of course, just little things. Neighbors noticed Richard staying later and later at the house, sometimes not leaving until after midnight. Others recalled odd glances between Sarah and her father-in-law at the funeral, a shared look of something more than grief. But no one dared ask, not then. The town mourned Thomas, but time passed and the whispers began to fade. Sarah continued to play the role of the grieving widow, but she knew it wouldn't be long before someone put the pieces together. Then came the night of the storm. The rain pounded relentlessly on the roof of the old house as the wind howled through the trees. Sarah sat alone in her bedroom, her mind spiraling with thoughts of Thomas, of Richard, of the secrets she had buried deep inside. A knock echoed through the house, louder than the storm, startling her. She opened the door to find Richard, drenched from the rain, his eyes wild with fear. "Someone knows," he whispered, his voice shaking. "I got a note. It said, 'I know what you did.'" Sarah's heart raced. Her mind churned through the possibilities. Who could know? They had been so careful, hadn't they? Over the next few days, strange things began happening. Sarah would receive anonymous phone calls, just silence on the other end. She'd find her door unlocked when she was sure she had locked it. Richard, too, was unraveling, growing more paranoid with each passing day. One night, as they met in secret, Richard confessed that he believed Thomas's death might not have been an accident after all. "Someone killed him," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "And now they're coming for us." Sarah couldn't believe what she was hearing. Was it possible? Could someone have known about their affair and taken matters into their own hands? The thought that someone had murdered her husband, not just as a result of a tragic accident but as revenge, sent shivers down her spine. As they tried to piece together who might have discovered their secret, the pressure mounted. Notes continued to appear, one on Sarah's car windshield, Another slipped under Richard's door. The messages grew bolder. "You'll be next." Terrified, they both agreed it was time to come clean, to end their affair and confess their sins. But the deeper they dug, the more questions arose. Someone was toying with them, watching their every move. But who? Could it be someone close to them? A neighbor? A friend? Maybe even a member of their own family? But then, just as suddenly as the notes began, they stopped. For a while, life returned to a fragile kind of normal. Richard distanced himself from Sarah, and she threw herself into raising her children. It seemed like the nightmare was over. The town, too, had moved on, the whispers of their secret now long forgotten. That was until the day Sarah disappeared. It was a quiet Sunday afternoon when her children found her bedroom door wide open and the house eerily silent. The police launched a full-scale investigation, combing through every inch of her home, but there was no sign of a struggle, no forced entry, no trace of Sarah Ward. Richard was questioned extensively, but his alibi held. He hadn't seen Sarah in weeks, he claimed, and there was nothing to link him to her disappearance. But the town knew better. Old rumors resurfaced. The whispers about the affair, about Richard's late-night visits, the strange phone calls, they all came rushing back. Weeks passed, and Sarah's body was never found. Some believe she ran away, consumed by the guilt of her affair and the fear of being exposed. Others think Richard, desperate to keep their secret hidden, might have silenced her for good. But there were also those who whispered about something more sinister, about a third party who had been watching them all along, manipulating the pieces of the puzzle from the shadows. The secret that Sarah took to her grave may never be fully known. But in a town as small as theirs, one thing is certain. Someone, somewhere, still knows the truth. Subscribe to Mystery Files to uncover the secrets behind the most chilling tales, where the truth is buried deeper than you ever imagined.